Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for part 2 of NEP Night in America. Ladies and gentlemen, back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for night number 2 of racing here with the YRD-NEP series. A little bit easier to say now. Pretty cool to see that. And looky, atop the board, John Peters going to score himself a pole, it looks like, as we've got a couple of seconds here left in qualifying showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth. And alongside me, as always, on a Thursday night, Aaron Creed. Aaron, how we feeling tonight, brother?
Pretty good. I heard I missed a pretty good time last night out at Charlotte Motor Speedway doing some traveling. So I heard those Spec Racer Fords put on a great show during the All-Star race.
Yeah, it was described by our top 3 as nightmare fuel, but it was a lot of fun to watch from the outside looking in. This is going to be the 4th NEP race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Going to be the 4th points race as Brandon Newhouse wins the All-Star race here last night in that Spec Racer. Check that video out on demand over on the YouTube page because it was definitely an ordeal. Previous winners, Ryan Libby, Brent Roy, and Cody LeBlanc sub. And the one of the stats we're really going to focus in here, and we're probably going to talk about it quite a bit here tonight, Aaron. John Peters has started from the pole in all 3 races here, but he's only finished in the top 5 once. One of those stats already moving forward as we get closer and closer to closing out this qualifying session. Peters up front, Messer and Daddio up in the top 3 as well. And how about Zane Farrell and Evan Boley are going to be rounding out the top 5 starting positions?
Yeah, John Peters looks like he's going to make it 4 for 4. As long as I think the clock's going to run out here very shortly. But how about Zane Farrell? I don't think he and Lacey had power the other day out there in Western Pennsylvania. I think they might not still. I don't know. He might be playing. He might be doing this from somewhere else tonight. But good to see Zane up there in the top 5, and it looks like we're getting set to line up the field here for 65 laps of racing.
Indeed, we are. 2 extra sets of tires down on pit road, no quick repairs, and we're only running a 75% fuel tank. So these drivers, maybe 44 laps, right around 43 is going to be the sweet spot, and we're going to see a pit window of 31 to 42 laps. So keep an eye on that, and you got to make sure you make the right calls on the pit box because pit strategy has won all 3 times that we've raced here at Charlotte Motor Speedway 4 points. If we take a look at that starting lineup, everybody getting ready to rock and roll lined up there on the front of the front straightaway there. John Peters does indeed take that pole. Ryan Messer, Steve Daddio, Zane Farrell, and Evan Boley are going to be the top 5 as they roll off.
Yeah, that's pretty cool how they're lined up there on the front stretch for all the fans to see. 6th through 10th, we've got Brent Roy, a previous winner here at Charlotte. Brandon Newhouse, a winner last night. Rookie Jeffrey Bradway, Michael Hopkins, and Corey Casagrande rounding out the top 10.
Rookie of the Year contender Colby Burkholder going to be in the 11th position. Adam Henry, Ryan Libby, Austin Belke, and Scott McDonald going to be the next 5 in line. Ryan Salvatore in the 12 car hooking us up with all the pre-race stats that we've been going through here. Got to give a shout out to him. He's going to roll off P16. Cody LeBlanc, John Miller, and Jason Ricker, and Jeffrey Brown. There's like 18 J's right in a row there, just at the bottom of the top 20. Jeffrey Brown going to roll off P20.
Yeah, and some drivers that we might have to watch here as long as they make it to the grid. It looks like they didn't take qualifying time, but Kenny Kibbe, one of the points contenders, last year's champ, Regan Parent, they're going to be starting from the rear of the field from the looks of it. So we're going to see some pretty exciting action, I think, here right from the get-go. Like you said, they're given 2 sets of tires, so you can kind of go all out here. You don't really have to conserve like we saw a couple weeks ago, actually last week at Thompson Speedway when they were had to run the full distance on 1 set of tires. But this one, we're going to see a pit window around lap 31 to 42. I think you mentioned that before. So we're going to see at least 1 round of pit stops. Might see some drivers kind of come in if there's some yellow flags to work on some getting their cars in better shape as the field begins to roll off.
Indeed, they do. We'll get them all lined up 2 by 2, ready to rock and roll here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 2nd time here tonight. And got to thank everybody for tuning in to NEP's Night in America, night number 2 here. We're live all over the place. We're trying to take over the internet as we do here at VidaneTV. We're over on the Facebook page for VidaneTV as well as the NEP series. Be sure to like and follow over there. We're live in the YouTubes. We're live on Twitch. We're trying to get live on TikTok, trying to bump our our followers up to 1,000 so we can go live over on the TikTok app, and that's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to do a little behind-the-scenes actions over there once we get that all sorted up. But there you see it. Lights are already off top. The pace car, we're lined up 2 by 2. That G&G's gift number 09 car. Easy enough for me to say. I'm trying to read 12 things and talk at the same time. But, that never seems to work. But one thing that definitely does work is that 09 car. And pretty cool to see. We're going to get the announcement of the 2024 winner this Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time at the Northeast Motorsports Expo up in Augusta, Maine. I don't know if I'm personally going to be able to get up there this weekend. But that's going to be something that's going to be huge. It's going to be a lot of fun to take a look at that. You'll be able to get all the information over on Facebook, all the social media outlets as well. But before we get to the weekend, we got some racing to do here. Last show of the week here for us at VidaneTV. Barney in the flag stand says, go, go, go. It is green flag racing time here at Charlotte.
And it looks like John Peters is going to get to the front from the get-go. He's going to try to stay out front this time. Like we said, the last 3 races at Charlotte, he started from the pole, but pit strategy didn't work in his favor. So right now he's going to work out into the lead. Messer's right there behind him. Field kind of stringing out into single file early on, but I think we're going to see some comers and goers here pretty quick on this 1.5-mile tri-oval.
Peters, Kibbe, and Daddio, they've all had top 5s in both of the Speedway races this season. Keith Lord, he's got 5 top 5s in 10 career starts on the 1.5-mile track as we get a caution flag early on in this one, and it looks like it might be Rookie of the Year contender Colby Burkholder.
Yeah, Colby Burkholder in trouble early. I'll get a look at the YRD replay here shortly. And, you mentioned Keith Lord. I don't think he's in the field tonight, so he's going to keep that record intact the way it is. I imagine he's probably in spotter's land somewhere, perhaps. But it looks like Johnny Miller was involved as well in the 6.
Yeah, you can see. You can't see it yet because I didn't switch the button over yet. We'll figure this live TV stuff out. We're only on our 3rd year here at VidaneTV. We gotta figure out which buttons do what here. We kind of came in here on a whim, but there you see Johnny Miller down on the bottom side. That's going to be the 7 car up top of Cody LeBlanc. You can see just kind of racing for position. The 6 car comes up across the nose. Barney saw it. He was up in the flag stand, and that's frustrating when you can see that you've got a quick car even going in reverse in the 6 car. So it looks like he got it all sorted out there. He gets a little bit of help from Mr. Burkholder. I spelled that wrong. As he gets shoved on around, but big time damage there for the 6 car. We'll see if John Miller's going to be able to get back out on track and make up some positions.
Yeah, luckily things don't look too bad for Colby Burkholder. He's going to catch the field back up here in the 26. We're going to have any takers on pit road early. We see some kind of doing a little fake out. We got one coming down. Is that, I'm trying to see that Adam Henry in the 62. I think this is his first Charlotte start. I'm going to have to go back and look at those stats. But, I believe so, that this is his first start here at Charlotte. Jeff Brown coming down the pits pretty early. Cody LeBlanc had some damage there to the right side. You can see pancake the wall there in the 7 NH, and he's fresh off the start in a mini stock over at Dillon Motor Speedway over the weekend, if I remember correctly. But he's going to need some repairs here on the virtual track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. John Peters continuing to lead the way. Some drivers kind of using the apron right now. Seems a little early to conserve fuel, but maybe that's what they're doing.
Oh, it's never too early to conserve fuel, especially when these drivers know getting into this one that the past 3 races here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the NEP series have been won by pit strategy. So it's going to be one of those deals. You're going to see a lot of guys trying to take care of their stuff early. We do have 2 sets of tires that these guys are going to be able to take throughout this race, but when you take tires, it takes time. So we may see some 2-tire stops. We might see a lot of fuel only here because we got 65 laps on the docket. Working caution number 1 here on lap number 4. John Peters still up front. Ryan Messer, Daddio, Farrell, and Boley are still the top 5 as they run.
And running 6th through 10th, we got Brent Roy, Brandon Newhouse, Jeffrey Bradway, Mike Hopkins, and Ryan Libby. Kind of the same, somewhat the same as how we started, but a couple drivers moving up just a little bit. Ryan Libby's been on a roll here lately with the podium finish last week, and he's going to try to continue that here at Charlotte. John Peters, he's going to try to get back in victory lane. He has a couple wins this year, but is a little behind points after missing a show, and I think he had a DNF already this season. So they're going to double up, though, and we're going to get ready to go to green next time by. We still got a little bit of a time under pace lap speeds, but we're going to get ready to go. I'm watching that second row, Stephen Daddio and Zane Farrell, to see what they can do on this restart.
Yeah, Zane having a monster qualifying effort here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, copying or starting up in the top 5 and holding on to that spot for right now. 5 laps in. Quick caution here to kind of kick things off just a little bit. See if we can get this this chat kicked off a little bit. We're live over on Facebook, the NEP Series page, as well as VidaneTV. We got the chats up over there. We got the YouTube chat going on. Freddie Bannister turning in. He's rooting for Ryan Messer in that one car. He's going to restart P2. How about that? Jason Norton, he's rooting for the 99. Daddy-O all night, baby. That 99 came into the points, or came into the night as the points leader, 5 points over Brent Roy. And he's looking in his rearview mirror. He sees that Camry kid is back there, that number 26, up in the top 10. Right now, right outside the top 5, looking in 6th. And it looks like he's got a pretty sporty flow racing car up in that 6th spot.
Yeah, for sure. And Brent Roy, like we said before, he's a former winner here. We're going to get ready to restart this race.
A little bit. We're live over on Facebook, the NEP Series. Pace car down on pit road. Barney in the flag stand waving that green flag once again. And how many times, Aaron, have we seen these two up on the front row trying to fake each other out with the restart? You can see they've got each other's number here at this point. A little side-by-side action as they come into 2, but the one of Ryan Messer going to tuck into the tire tracks? Nope, just kidding. He's going to try and keep the fresh air on the front of his nose as long as he can up on that high side. Back straightaway, he's going to tuck back in, and there you see in 3 and 4, they're going to run a very, very similar line to try and pull away just a little bit. You can see it's about 0.4 of a second gap between 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, Ryan Messer trying to get a run there off the corners, it looks like, and he's doing a good job so far, but it really does look like kind of like what we've seen in past couple races. It's pretty difficult to pass, passing possibly at a premium. And right now the field mostly single file, a couple side-by-side battles mid-pack. Right now, though, there's Kenny Kibbe and Regan Parent marching through the field, the 4 and the 117. And they're going to move past Ryan Salvatore. And they started pretty far back, but how much do you bet we're going to find Kibbe and Libby running together at some point in this race?
Oh, I'm not taking that bet. That's absolutely going to happen. It happens every week here at NEP. Kibbe and Libby always kind of working their way through the fields kind of methodically. We're still trying to figure out here, even as many seasons as we've had here in the NEP series, we're not sure if that's planned or not. But it always seems like when both drivers run well, they run well together, and when they don't, well, we've got the 2 Michigan drivers running together right now, Austin Belke and Kenny Kibbe. Kibbe's going to try to find a way by that 24. Right now he tucks in, and he's got Jason Ricker following on the back. Ricker got a run there through the corners, almost getting back before, but manages to kind of back off there a little bit and do what he can. You see DJ Gerard a little bit further on back, taking a peek down low on Salvatore in the 12 car, going to take that position and move that 0 car up one more spot. He's gained 7 spots so far from where he qualified this evening. Ooh, Belke up into the outside wall just ever so slightly. Doesn't look like it slowed him down too much, but that's going to allow the 9 car of Ricker to take a peek down low, a little bit further up, little side-by-side action. How about Mike Hopkins in that 78 car just outside the top 10, running 12th right now. Corey Casagrande, Scott McDonald in the mix as well, and had an interesting race going last night. Mike Hopkins holding on to the lead for a couple laps in the All-Star race, and ended up finding a little bit of calamity to end the night early for that 78 car. Got to tell you, that race last night was a lot of fun to watch, and if you haven't seen it out there already, be sure to get it over on the YouTube page and check it out. And Aaron, it looks like the old Facebook chat's starting to heat up just a little bit. Lacey Farrell's in there. Go Zany, go. How about Chris Fluckinger? Chris Fluckinger tuning in here tonight. Pooter, stop saving tires and drop the hammer.
Well, I knew that chat would kind of light up once Zane Farrell makes a pass like that on the outside of Ryan Messer for second. Great job by Zane Farrell, and he looks hungry to win tonight. I think he was absent at Thompson last week, so he's looking to kind of gain that footing back in the points race. He really got off to a pretty good start, was around 5th in points most of the early part of the season, and he's going to try to pick it up as we ride along with Mr. Farrell in that number 14 machine.
Yeah, you can already see kind of utilizing that high line as we get a little bit further on into the run. Lap number 12 going to cross the stripe here for lap number 13. There you see it. Lucky number 13 as it were. One more, and that's his number. You can see he's going to ease on into it, though, into this high line. Nope, this time he's going to tuck in and see if he can give John a little bit of a tap, tap, tap on the bumper. That's something we don't see every day. Zane Farrell having himself a solid run. It looks like that car is hooked up.
Yeah, he for sure certainly is right now. Ryan Messer is not letting Zane Farrell get away, though. But Zane's coming off a sixth place finish at Charlotte last year. So he was a contender for sure. And look at this. The front six are all bunched together now. It's Peters all the way back to Libby. And hey, look at that. Paul, we got Ryan Libby has some, it's not a plain white car on that 46 running in sixth. I think he picked up a sponsorship, kind of bringing back those discount tire colors on the front and a sponsor on the side of that machine once again as well.
Yeah, giving those sponsors a good ride here up in the sixth spot. He's got a little side-by-side action up in front of him as the 56 Bollier side-by-side with the points leader Daddio, and they're doing a little bit of battle for fourth and fifth, and there you see they're still trying to chase down Messer, Zane, and Peters up in the top three, and they're still pulling away, even though these guys in fourth or fifth are kind of side-by-side just a little bit. They're still able to pull away from the pack. They've got about maybe half a second or so between sixth and seventh. Brent Roy back there just kind of lurking in that Flow Racing Camry Kid number 26.
Yeah, I'm sure Evan Boyer, someone like him, though, is looking to hit that go button. As last week we saw, he had a very fast race car and is always strong on the short tracks. However, he had an issue right from the get-go and ended up starting the race 9 laps down. So Evan's trying to rebound with a solid run this week at Charlotte. And right now he's doing a good job in fourth. And but he's going to have to keep Ryan Libby, Stephen Daddio, and like you said, Brent Roy right there. Then you're going to have to keep them behind him as he looks to catch the front three.
In a battle for the lead, Zane Farrell going to take it. How about that? Clips the apron just a little bit. That's going to open the door back open for John Peters, but it looks like they're going to get it all sorted out. Going to give him just a little bit of a break there, it looks like, as we're still pretty early on in this one. But a third of the distance just about to be in the books, and give it to the 14 car. New leader, Zane Farrell.
Yeah, great pass. You know, kind of one of those things that kind of like Days of Thunder movie. You know, Peters might have expected him to go to the outside because that's where he's been making all those passes so far. But like Cole Trickle, Zane Farrell kind of moved to the inside all of a sudden there to take the top spot. And like you said, it could have been calamity right there. But I think John Peters anticipated that right and kind of backed off as we see Ryan Messer nearly nudge the wall if he didn't at all. But he keeps going smoothly there in the third spot, and he's going to try to get second from John Peters.
Beautiful sunset happening here at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. A little onboard shot with Messer, and you can tell with that 14 car, I was going to mention it just a few laps ago, it seems like he's watched some tapes. He's done his homework in that 14 camp, because he's been doing he's been trying different lines. He's been trying to turn in a little bit harder, trying to kind of widen out the turns as well, heading up towards the top of the racetrack. And he knows if he's going to try and hold off the 09 of John Peters, as he's going to get a shot now down on the bottom side. Messer rather, going to open the door down on the bottom side, try and make a little bit of the magic happen. Oh, Bollier up into the outside wall. He takes Libby with him. Caution flag going to fly here, I would imagine, here on lap number 20. Green flag still out. There it is. Caution. Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Yeah, that was a hard hit right there. And we'll have to go back and look at the replay and see. It kind of looked like the front two maybe kind of not necessarily caused it, but set it off a little bit to kind of bunch things up there. It seemed like Zane got a bit of loose there in the tri-oval, and Peters kind of pounced, but then behind them, they were trying to pounce as well. So it kind of gets us bunched up a little bit here going into the tri-oval, and it doesn't really look like it involved the front two right there. It looks like just contact between the 56 and the 46, and another tough break for Ryan Libby. We've seen him have an early exit from quite a few races here, sometimes not of his doing, but it looked like they were kind of just going for the same part of that racetrack as we look at it once again to see where it all went wrong.
Yeah, it's one of those deals that almost looks like it was the same piece of real estate these guys are fighting for. Libby up on the high side, touches the wall just a little bit, 56 not quite clear. Massive hit from on board of the 46 car. You saw that right front tire getting all sorts of jangled up on the right front. So tough night for Libby. Going to park it down in the garage area, it looks like. Going to join John Miller down there in that 6 car, who spun around and went the wrong way there on lap number 2. And how about that? That answers the question. Pit stops, 21 minus 65, carry the 1. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it from here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're just going to be counting on another yellow. But Zane Farrell kind of faked everyone out there and just came in right before the commitment cone. And then once he came in, it was kind of monkey see, monkey do. I don't know if we have a single car that is not on pit road. I think every single car has come down pit road. And, yeah, pace cars all alone out there.
So this is going to get that. I actually had to pull out the calculator here, and this is going to get wild. We got our stats, we got our race notes from VidaneTV, Ryan Salvatore, and he said, and I quote, "You can make 43 laps here. You could potentially make 44, and if my math is correct, we have 43 laps to go."
Oh yeah, we're going to be really close there, but you know it might be some conservation still just to be on the safe side. You know, we say that make it 43, but if someone's really pushing it, they might not. They make it 40, 41, 42. So, but John Peters with an excellent pit stop right there, and he will get out front. It looks like we're kind of sorting things out here to see who's running where. I think it was Peters, and then Farrell, then Messer and Roy off pit road. Some drivers kind of short pitting. I think we saw some 4-tire stops there. And but I think we saw a few 2-tire stops because Kenny Kibbe, Scott McDonald's, a couple of them have moved up the order quite a bit toward the top 10. So still a long way to go. We're about a third of the way through this one, and a lot to be decided.
Indeed, there is going to get the 1 to go signal this time by... Nope, just kidding. We're going to get a couple more laps here under caution to get the virtual racetrack cleaned up just a little bit. Reagan Parent moving up into 6th after that pit stop. He's up 16 spots on the night. Brandon Newhouse, Jeffrey Bradway, Corey Casagrande, Scott McDonald up in the top 10 for the first time in that 44 car. Mike Hopkins on the outside looking in that 78 car. And, you know, I talked to a couple of the drivers. You and I, Aaron, after these NEP races, we usually go down and hang out by the red trailer just to see who's yelling at and probably learn a little bit, a couple of new words, a little bit of colorful commentary, as we like to call it in the NEP After Dark world. Asked a lot of these guys, hey, we ran here at Charlotte, you know, in these spec racers. Is there anything that you can learn from tonight into, or from last night rather, into tonight? Is there anything you can apply? Short answer, no. Very, very easy to drive those spec racer cars. You can almost hold them wide open, really crank on those corners. And I believe it was Zane Farrell who told me last night that it might have even been Corey Casagrande. With these Xfinity cars here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, you almost have to start letting off midway down the back straightaway if you're going to get it to turn right in 3 and 4.
Yeah, an extremely different type of car. But I must say, if you ever get the chance to go to an SCCA show and the spec racer Fords are one of the classes, yeah, stay there because they put on a show. Just if you've never seen a spec racer Ford compete before, especially like a show like the SCCA runoffs, and those guys draft at those tracks. It's kind of like if you've ever seen the Mazda Miatas race. Oh my gosh, it's a ton of fun to watch. But these heavy Xfinity cars completely different from those lightweight spec racer Fords, and yeah, we're going to see some beating and banging here, I think, before this is done. I don't think you could do a ton of beating and banging. I didn't get to watch it from beginning to end last night, so I could be completely wrong about that. But I'm sure they had to be on their toes just a little bit more despite dicing it up quite a bit. Am I completely wrong?
No, there was a lot of dicing up last night for sure. A lot of beating and banging. It was almost in comparison. It was almost like watching go-karts at Daytona. And yeah, you heard me right. We went down there for Daytona, hung out with Tony Stevens, Andrew Perdue, all the guys over at Pit Row TV for the kart week down at Daytona, and it was cool. They had the quarter-mile little dirt track. That was a lot of fun. They brought in a bunch of sand from down in Miami and made a dirt track at just outside the big track. And then they had the sprint track where I was hooked up running the camera there. And in the background, you could see on the big track at Daytona International Speedway, there's some crazy colorful words going around that big track in go-karts doing about $160, $165. I want to try it one time, but that's not an everyday thing for Showtime.
Oh, that has to be insane. But we're going to go some 165 here into the corner when we go back to green here. Probably a little bit more than that, and even in these big old Xfinity cars, bringing them down pretty slow to green as John Peters is going to get the advantage. I think Ryan Messer's going to clear Zane Farrell into turn one for second.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. We've seen the 09 and the 1 cars side-by-side restarts time and time again. That's not to say that Zane Farrell had a poor restart in that 14 car. We've just seen how good that John Peters is on these restarts, as well as Ryan Messer going to slide himself up into second. Looks like Daddy on the 99 car, the points leader, coming into the show here tonight. He's going to get by Zane. Zane's stuck in that middle groove, going to tuck into the tire tracks now for the time being. And don't look now, that third-place driver, or check that, second-place driver in points, Brent Roy, is moving his way into the top 10, trying to anyways. Down the bottom side, trying to get under Reagan Parent. And that's going to be a tough task because Reagan Parent's up 17 spots so far. Biggest mover of the race.
Not a ton surprising for that. Regan Parent, we've seen him come from the back of the field to put on a show in the past. And right now he's currently in the top 5 in points with a couple wins. I would not be surprised if we see him get a win once again. If I remember correctly, he won last week at Thompson. He swept the Connecticut races. So a win in North Carolina would probably be the icing on the cake for the young driver. Right now, though, he's up to third, and he is on the tail of Messer and Peters. But where the heck did Zane Farrell go? I was going to say he's dropped back to fifth. I was going to kind of lead that into you, but Regan Parent just continues to put on a show there. It's hard to get away from him on the camera as he has gone to second, and now he's going for the lead.
Yeah, Buddy figured something out on that high side. Holy cow. Reagan Parent all the way up to the lead. He just passed Ryan Messer, John Peters, and Steve Daddio in the same lap using that high side. Those definitely going to be, I'm going to assume, 4 tires on that last pit stop, man, because that RKM setup shop, or the RKM setup car is flat flying around this place. He's going to come out of 3 and 4 and head into that start finish line at the raceway here and lead himself a lap. Ryan Messer, he's trying to take a look down at the bottom, maybe get some clean air on that 1 car, but that 17's pulling away.
Yeah, he's trying to check out. Messer's trying to keep up, but both of them are actually pulling pretty far ahead of John Peters now and letting them battle for themselves. Zane Farrell once again trying to get his momentum back, and he's going under Stephen Daddio for 4th. Mike Hopkins, he's got a bit of a microburst going on here, coming from the mid-pack once again. Kind of fell back there after the start. Now he's battling right there for about sixth spot. Brandon Uhouse, yesterday's winner, riding there in 8th. He's looking for his first top 10 in a points-paying Charlotte race. His finishes so far at Charlotte in NEP points races are only 15th, 17th, and 24th. The over-under finish for him tonight is 11.5 after that win last night, though. And he's going to try to do even better than that as he is going under, or he was about to look under Brent Roy for position. He kind of tucks back in there in the 8th spot as Mike Hopkins looking for a top 5 position.
Indeed he is. You can see he's going to pull off the shot and get around the 99 car, move that 78 into P5. It looks like a lot of the drivers starting to move up the racetrack just a little bit, kind of utilize that middle to high groove, but Hopkins all the way down in the bottom of the racetrack, kind of turning down in late just a little bit. You can see he's going to get a monster draft off the back of the 14 car of Zane Farrell, going to pull him right up to it. Hopkins having himself a solid run here, very smooth getting into the corners, crossing the start-finish line to take lap number 32, and he's all over the back bumper of Farrell. He's going to take a peek down low and see if he can't get that spot of +1 as Zane's going to try and pull up on the high side of Peters.
Yeah, that high side really working well, and it's I'm clenching my teeth though when these guys go into the tri-ovals. It seems like they bounce around just a little bit, but right now Farrell back on the move. It seems like some of these drivers, they have a better long run car than they do short run, and Zane Farrell seems to be one of those for sure. As you see, like on the restarts, it doesn't seem like he's able to get going right away, but then once we're a few laps under green, he is just lights out in that 14. He's going to have a little bit of ground to make up, about a second to catch up to those front two, though, Regan Parent and Ryan Messer.
And you can see he kind of pulled away from the calamity here, that battle for 4th, 5th, 6th on back. He's got a little bit of breathing room in behind him, and he's got some breathing room up in front of him. He's got a little bit of ground he's going to have to make up to catch up to Ryan Messer, but he can still see them out his windshield, so he's going to be able to see what those two guys are doing with their cars, where they're putting them on the racetrack, and what he needs to do in the 14 car to adjust to try and get up there. Check that. That's Parent and Messer up there in 1 and 2. Peters is back here in the 4th position. The G&G's gift number 09 car. Pretty cool to see the G&G's gift is going to get announced here this Saturday night, 4 p.m. Eastern time at the Northeast Motorsports Expo up in Augusta, Maine. And I can assure you it's going to be all over the social media outlets as well. So be sure to go check out G&G's gift on Facebook. We'll make sure we share any information that we get here as well about it. Joining our leader back up front, Reagan Parent's gone, man. He's driving off into that sunset. He's bringing Ryan Messer with him. They might stop off and grab a burger or something here before the night's out. But those top two, they've pulled away by quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. And they're going to be hard to catch. Zane Farrell's on the move here, but he's actually lost half a second to the front two, Reagan Parent and Ryan Messer. So he's got his work cut out for him here, as he is a half second ahead of John Peters, who actually just got passed by Mike Hopkins up to 4th. A great job for the number 78 right now, as we have 2 Connecticut drivers in the top 4 right there. And actually we have 2 Connecticut drivers, 2 from, actually no, we got 2 Connecticut, 2 from the Maritimes, 1 from Pennsylvania, and 1 originally from Maine. John Peters now calling North Carolina home, kind of his home track now nowadays, but he's actually struggling a little bit, running in 5th, just trying to hold on to a top 5 spot at the moment. We always say, though, is he conserving at all? It's kind of hard to conserve, though, when we got fresh tires and drivers that are just on the move. As here we see Corey Casagrande making it 3 Connecticut drivers in the top 6 now, as he's using the outside. And here comes Bradway. I think he's also from Connecticut. We got your home state all over this top 10 right now, Paul.
Representing just a little bit for the old CT state. What would be the Nutmeg state? I think I don't even like nutmeg, but in any sense, Connecticut having a showing here up in the top 10, and it's crazy to see just how different some of these guys are. Fantastic on short runs, but you hit on it earlier, Aaron. These guys, there's a lot of drivers that are just kind of hooked up for the long haul, and you'll see the line kind of shift up the racetrack just a little bit. And it's funny you mentioned it a couple of laps ago, because we watched these guys come out of turn 4, and I'm glad you said it, because I'm doing it too. I'm gritting my teeth as you're watching these guys beat and bang on the racetrack, and they're trying to hold on to it, and then it's good. But then you do that lap after lap after lap. It's a lot to keep up with, but these guys doing a heck of a battle, and now we're side by side for the lead. Messer going to take a peek down low on that 17 car.
Yeah, a lot of battling going on here, jockeying for positions, including the lead spot right here. Ryan Messer certainly with a burst of energy here in the number 1, and he's going to try to take the lead back. It looks like they're going to get pretty close there going into turn 1, but Regan Parent fighting back. But I think Ryan Messer might be able to clear him off of turn 2. There, he's got that run in the number 1 machine, and he's able to retake that top spot. Messer going for his 2nd victory of the season, while Parent going for his 3rd. So some winners already this season are taking up most of the top spots, but don't count out Zane Farrell, don't count out Mike Hopkins, as these two were battling side by side. They did catch up just a tiny bit, still more than a second back, but looking to see what they can do. We have 25 laps to go, still a long way to go. I think if we see a yellow, I have a feeling we're going to see everyone come down pit road, and the leader might dictate that, or the leader might be a sitting duck if they decide to stay out and everyone else comes in. So, but we got to bank on a yellow flag happening, which that's not always a certain thing, Paul. Especially with this year's races, we've seen a couple of them almost go caution free.
No, it's funny you mentioned that. Now that we've got 24 laps to go, we've watched the 09 car. I don't want to say he's dropped like a rock, but he has dropped just a little bit. I wonder if that 09 car is saving fuel. He's won the pole every time we've been here. The last 3 races here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the 09 car has started on the pole here tonight. But the other thing that we saw with that same stat is he's only got 1 top 5 finish here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So you got to wonder, with all these races being won by fuel strategy here at the Cookie Cutter in Charlotte, North Carolina, I wonder if he's backed up just a little bit to try and save a little bit of fuel.
You got to wonder if that's a strategy up front, too, because, when you're running up front with all that clean air, that's usually burning off a little bit more fuel than some of the other competitors. We see that a lot more at the restrictor plate kind of tracks, but I'm sure it probably makes a slight difference even here at Charlotte. Um, but so maybe with them swapping the lead, maybe that's part of the strategy as well. Who knows? And who knows who's hanging back there. We haven't said much about Kenny Kibbe yet. Almost every race he is on the podium by the end of the race, but right now he's mired back there in the 10th spot, and I think that's the furthest up that we've seen that number 4 machine so far tonight.
Yeah, qualified outside the top 20, P21. Not the best qualifying effort out of that 4 camp, but you can see making the best of it here tonight, trying to get around that 3 car. Brandon Newhouse to take the 9th position. You can see at the stripe, going to try and get down there here in 1 and 2 as they're side by side, and Newhouse jumping on board with the sponsorship here tonight, bringing the teammates on board as well. Ford Wide Weaponry sponsoring the double-double here, a little 2-night action here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Last night's all-star race with the Spec Racer Fords, and here with the Xfinity Series, and they're still side by side. That 4 car, it's starting to look a little sporty.
Yeah, for sure. There he goes for 9th spot, and he's going to set his sights now on Steven Dadio, the current point leader. Steven Dadio currently the 5-point lead on Brent Roy, and looking for his 2nd win of the year. He's got some ground to make up, though, if he can go for another win. As we look a little further up in the field, some more battling for position. John Peters kind of coming back here. We said he was back there in 6th. Didn't quite drop like a rock, as you can see. He's battling back and trying to get 5th back from Corey Casagrande, and then he's going to look for 4th from Mike Hopkins. Casagrande fighting back a little bit, though, on the outside. That's what's cool about this track is that outside line. It really comes in. You can race side by side probably for a good few laps if you wanted to. The outside line, though, probably uses up a little bit more tire, and since it's the longer way around. But right now, it seems to be working out for some competitors. And like we were talking about earlier, a lot of comers and goers.
The little onboard shot here looking down the nose of the 09 car. You can see he's got his sights set now on Hopkins in the 78 ride up in front. He's still a little side-by-side action. Nope, going to clear that spot. Going to take away the 5th position. Move that 09 car back into the top 5. And we're doing a little conveyor belt action here with 18 laps to go. And we mentioned under that last caution, I don't recall anyone coming down to top off after they came down. So I don't know if these guys got a little bit of extra fuel in that last one, and when we took that yellow flag, we were right at the fuel window of 43 laps. So it's going to be interesting to see are these front guys being able to save anything out in clean air, and you can see the points battle is right up in the mix as we watch the side-by-side battle for 5th. Brent Roy came in 5 points behind the points leader of Dadio, and they're running right next to each other, right near each other in any sense on the racetrack. There's Dadio in 9th. Brent Roy 2 spots up in front of him. There he is in the 26 car, trying to take a peek on Corey Casagrande in the 7 CT.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's conserving right now, the way they're racing. So, I mean, I think it's kind of going all out and see what happens. We could see some, if this race goes green the rest of the way, we could see some very, very pivotal very last minute moments at the very end. Right now, Hopkins keeping Peters behind him in the 4th spot. Brent Roy moving back up as he gets by Corey Casagrande for 6th. And don't look now, Kenny Kibbe has snuck up there to the 8th spot. Brent Roy gets real loose, and I think Casagrande hit the wall there, and he's back into the wall again. I think there's might be a tire down or something like that, as he is just up against the wall. I don't know if this is going to bring out a yellow or not. He's
there it is.
Going. There it is.
Yeah, a little bit different rules here tonight with the yellow flag. We're back to racing incidents bringing out the yellow flag. I'm not sure if you caught it on the broadcast last night, but the only yellow flags we had last night during the All-Star event were yellow flags that Corey Casagrande wanted to throw. So that was rather interesting to watch. There you see Brent Roy getting up to the outside wall. They kind of gather it back up, almost. A little squirrely there for the 26. He gets into Corey in that 7 CT car, and you're right, it might have been a tire or something down here, because once you get up into that outside wall here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's really hard to turn away from it. It acts like a glue and really kind of holds you up there. But that's going to bring the caution out here with 14 laps to go. What do you do at this point? You've got the extra sets. We started the race with 2 extra sets down on pit road. We've got 14 laps to go. It doesn't seem like anybody's got enough to catch up to the 1 car. Do you come down for tires? Do you gamble? Do you try and stay out? This is why I'm in the production trailer. No shot calls for this guy.
I think you're going to see a feeding frenzy here just in a moment, but I could be completely wrong as well. I'm going to leave it up to what these competitors decide to do. But Ryan Messer, it's kind of his race to lose right now. But I don't know, by staying out, by making that motion, by staying out, everyone else could come in, but he comes in as well, and it looks like just about, if not everyone, is going to follow him down. We don't have to talk about conserving fuel anymore or any of that business because I think all 24 cars on the lead lap are coming down pit road now. So really, it's going to be about who can get out off of pit road first for the last probably 10 or 11 lap dash that we're going to have.
And that's going to change up one of our stats here. You made mention of all of the past 3 or 4 races. Quick 2-tire stop for Messer. He's down and away. Peter's going to gain a bunch of spots. Fuel only for the 09 car, it looks like. And everybody else coming off pit road. Zane Farrell going to come off P3. Little 3-wide action. There's Daddy-O up in the mix. Kibbe gains a bunch of spots off that pit stop as well. Reagan Perrin up in the top 5. Evan Bollier there in 6th. Brent Roy dropping a couple of spots, but he had a little bit of damage he had to work on in the 26 car. Mike Hopkins going to roll off 9th. Jason Ricker going to roll off 10th. And once we get across the stripe here, that scoring tower will get it updated. You can see there's still a handful of drivers down on pit road. Corey Casagrande trying to beat some of the sheet metal out there. Jeffrey Brown, Cody LeBlanc down on pit road still too. A little extensive stop for those guys. But this is going to be interesting. It's going to give us a little 10-lap dash to the end of the race. It's going to throw a lot of the strategy out the window. At this point, it's almost like a spec racer race where you're just hammer down, turn left, and see what happens at the end of it.
Yeah, and we got some competitors back in the mix, or in the mix for the first time tonight, pretty much. Kenny Kibbe, like you said, 5th off of pit road. That's the highest he's been by far tonight. Also, Evan Bollier. We saw him getting that altercation earlier with Ryan Libby, but he's back up there in 7th, and it doesn't seem like that car's in that bad shape. So I think he might have short pitted as well, just to get back into the top 10, get some track position. And he might be a threat before this race is over as well.
We believe we're going to get the one to go next time, Bias. We got a little bit of time here. Got to thank everybody for tuning in live all over the internet. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch. We are on Twitter. We're trying to get on TikTok. And we're on the YouTubes as well. Be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, a share, all that good stuff, especially over on the YouTube page. Give us a like and like the video. Helps out the algorithm. It lets everybody know that you want to watch some entertaining iRacing action here on a Thursday night. Last race of the week here for us here at VidaneTV, but that doesn't mean the action isn't going to kick back off starting next week. Monday night, the RBR Maritime Group coming back for season number 7. Crazy to think they're 7 seasons in already with that group. Very excited to have them on board once again. Ashton Reiki going to be joining me in the broadcast booth for that one. Tuesday night's going to be the Wingnut Productions Late Model Stock Series. Wednesday night, the Turn 4 Podcast Winter Series. Next Thursday, right back here for some NEP action. Little points racing action here as Thursday night is indeed NEP's Night in America. So 4 shows on the go next week. Going to be a lot of fun. We've got some crazy cool things going on here at VidaneTV in the virtual racing world, as well as the real racing world, as well as the softball world, as well as the fantasy football world. We might be doing a little fantasy football draft action coming up for next football season. We got a little ways to go, so we got some planning we got to work on, but that's going to be a lot of fun. And who knows, we might even do a little spring football action here because we saw that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson merged the XFL into the USFL and called it the UFL. That's going to be a lot of fun, a little springtime football action.
That's all news to me, and it's mostly racing for me. So, but that's exciting as well. And yeah, the NEP guys are going to be back on the short tracks next Thursday at Indianapolis Raceway Park with the late model stocks. So that should be exciting. I'm going to be sad to miss that one, as I'll be traveling up and down the West Coast next week on West Coast time. So by the time I actually get settled in, it's going to be probably like 10 or 11 o'clock Eastern time, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean you all should miss it next Thursday, as it's going to be just as exciting, if not more exciting, as tonight. And this has been an exciting one already at Charlotte as they work the backstretch. We've got a latecomer off of pit road there in the back. I think that might have been Corey Casagrande. But 23 cars still on the lead lap. So that was Brian Shipp in the 48. We haven't talked much about the Shipp brothers, but they still running on the lead lap, doing their thing. And because there's 23 cars on the lead lap, that means there's 23 drivers that have a shot at this victory still before all is said and done. 10 laps to settle it, as the pace car is going to come back down for the next restart.
Indeed, he is. That pace car driver going to stop off at the Dollar General down there in turn 4. Those things are popping up everywhere. It's craziness. But we're going to get the green flag once again. Messer and Peters getting the restart. Caught John Peters sleeping just a little bit. Ryan Messer with a monster spot. Monster jump there. Not a jump, but he jumped the gap just a little bit. He's going to go into 1 and 2 with about a 4-car length lead as the caution flag flies for some calamity in the back. There's some tore up race cars.
Oh, got some. I think they were all looking at that Dollar General sign, the Dollar General sign popping up, and maybe a Dollar Tree and a Family Dollar as well. As I know that was an announcement today that I think it was the Legacy Motor Club that they got those guys, Dollar Tree and Family Dollar, as sponsors this season. So a lot of good sales going on, and we're gonna have some good sales going on with some sheet metal here. From the looks of it, as Jeffrey Bradway and DJ Gerard got together collecting Jared Adams. Like Cody LeBlanc was able to sneak through there in the 7NH, but a hard hit for a few there.
Yeah, and that's how we can tell here at VidaneTV when these drivers are listening to us inside the car. They've got the old phone or tablet kind of duct taped up on the old dashboard there, because it's probably just turning left. Oh, yeah, look at that. There is a Dollar General over there in turn 4. But let's ride on board with Cody LeBlanc. There's the wreck up in front, off the throttle, and you can see not indecisive, but not really anywhere to go. So just kind of held the wheel straight, backed off the throttle, and just eased right on through that wreck. Little bit of sheet metal damage for that 07 car, but doesn't look like it's going to slow him down any. So that's some heads-up driving for Cody LeBlanc. And man, up front, it's still Messer and Peters, and you can bet Peters wants that last restart back. He might have gotten caught sleeping for the first time this season. Don't think it's going to happen twice in a row. We'll see. We'll get that restart. Looking like with about 6 laps to go, as we got 2 to go from Barney in the flag stand.
Well, yeah, that's the neat part about a quickie yellow right like that is he's going to get another chance. So we're going to see them stack things up, probably go side by side next time by, as Jared Adams going back out on the track after sustaining some damage in that wreck. Just trying to conserve and maybe salvage a top 20 finish here at the end of this one. At this point, Corey Casagrande, they're scooting by in the 7 CT. He's going to get his lap back and be back on the lead lap. So we'll see if he can kind of recover for a solid finish. And with some of the couple more of those multi-car incidents, it might just happen. And but right now we're kind of hoping it goes clean and green here to the finish. Corey almost scraping the wall there, as he actually kind of did, as you can see on the right side of that car. But he getting his lap back, he kind of nudged the safer barrier a little bit. And even though there's safer barriers here, we just saw, they're not very forgiving, are they?
No, they're definitely not. Corey Casagrande having himself a little bit of a rivalry with that outside wall. He got caught up in it about 20 laps or so ago. Couldn't get that thing to turn left once he got up in that wall glue. And 8 laps to go, going to cross the stripe with 7 to go, get that green flag, probably with 5 or 6 laps to go here at this point. And if we go green flag to this one, we get through the podium interviews, I don't think my Chinese food will be too cold.
Oh, yeah, let's hope not. I know you were telling me that was a little bit of a disaster beforehand. So hopefully, luckily you have microwaves though, and those things do a good job of heating that kind of stuff up. Chinese food's still pretty good when it's reheated.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, we thought we were going to be slick here in the production trailer. We're going to order Chinese food at 7:30 Eastern time. Oh, it's plenty of time to go and pick it up. And well, as Buddy was bringing it over to the counter, he dropped my order on the floor, so we had to remake it. So we came in a little hot to trot getting into the production trailer, but we got it all lined up. We got the green flag racing action in, and we're going to be able to watch these drivers finish up some points racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to get to 1 to go this time by, line them up 2 by 2 all the way through. Corey Casagrande getting the free pass. He's back on the lead lap. Jeffrey Bradway, extensive pit stop for that number 13 car. You can see lots of damage on that thing. They've got the right side jacked up, it looks like, trying to get some of the sheet metal worked out, missing panels in the back. Still on the lead lap, so that's definitely good news for the 13 camp, but gonna have a little bit of an uphill battle here with single digits left to go.
Yeah, it's a tough break. It's right now in the rookie battle. He's 13 back from Colby Burkholder. Colby currently 17th in the standings. Bradway currently 20th. So, yeah, he was running in front of that 126 most of this race, but now it's going to be Burkholder that's ahead of Bradway, as long as he can keep it in one piece. And right now he's been able to do so. We saw Burkholder was involved in that first yellow, but didn't have much damage, was able to keep it going, and he's having a solid mid-pack run right now in 16th behind drivers such as Ryan Salvatore, Bobby Ship, and Cody LeBlanc, all trying to maybe crack that top 10 before all is said and done.
And just taking a look what we've got on the go for the restart. Messer down on the bottom. Peters on the high side. Zane Farrell having a monster run here at Charlotte. He's down on the bottom of row number 1. Reagan Parent, he's gained 18 spots. He went up. He drove around the field on the outside earlier on. He's going to restart in the 4th position. Steve Daddio, points leader, up in the top 5 as well. Kenny Kibbe slowly, methodically working his way into the top 5. That 4 car going to be super quick here. Brent Roy up in the mix as well. We saw him get a little bit of damage on that 26 car, but back in the top 10. Mike Hopkins up there as well in 9th. Jason Ricker in the top 10 as well. There you see Brandon Newhouse, Scott McDonald, Salvatore joining the picture, one of the Ship brothers in the 04. Kind of a who's who here at NEP, and there you see the sun is just about set off in the outside part of the racetrack, and when we come to the stripe, we're going to get high five from Barney in the flag stand. 5 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Lights out. He's going to take that left-hand turn. He's going to go to Dollar General there and turn number 4, and he's going to leave this restart up to the 09 and the 1 car. Messer down on the bottom. The 09 car of Peters up on the high side, and there goes Messer. Hammer down for the 1 car. He's going to get that whole shot. He's going to have about 3-4 car lengths over the 09 car heading into 1.
Yeah, you see Peters was able to clear Zane Farrell, though, right from the get-go, and moves to that inside line. He's going to try to get a little bit of a run here on the 1 and see what he can do. Zane Farrell still having a solid run there in 3rd, but he's got Kenny Kibbe right on his tail on the inside. Zane's not going to be able to really juggle around here in the inside or outside here, but he's using that outside line again, and it's really working for him as they go through the tri-oval. We'll see if there's enough laps, though, for Zane to kind of pick up a rhythm once again, as it seems to take a couple laps for him to be able to do that. Right now he tucks into that 3rd spot, and he's going to look for 2nd again from John Peters as Peters moves to the inside there on the backstretch.
And what kind of thing do you get yourself set up for, where you're trying to pass John Peters and you're trying to hold off Reagan Parent and Kenny Kibbe in the back? That's not something I'd wish on any of my enemies. That's a tough task at hand, and Zane Farrell making it work. He's going to move on up into that 2nd spot. Little bit of contact between he and the 09 car. Not quite clear for Zane Farrell. They're still side by side as they come out of turn number 2 with 2.5 laps to go. Daddy, a little bit of contact there with the guy he's battling for points. Brent Roy up in the 26 car on that high side, trying to get as many points as he can. Right now, just 1 spot in front of the points leader of Daddio.
You know, I was about to say he was loving this as Ryan Messer, but he hasn't been able to get too far away. Here's Zane Farrell. He's less than 0.2 of a second, only like about a car length behind Messer now. In the 2nd spot, they're battling hard for 3rd. Reagan Parent and John Peters with less than 2 laps to go, about a lap and a half. And Messer trying to break that draft, though, kind of keep Zane Farrell from getting a run, but I don't know how that's going to work. Farrell is right there within about a car length still as the field comes around to take the white flag.
White flag, a white rag, and Zane Farrell is closing. He's there. He's on the back bumper. He drops back just a little bit, right on that white line all the way around the racetrack. He looks in the rearview mirror ever so quickly. The 17 car. Oh, John Peters around, as is Kibbe. White flag already out, though. We're going to race back to the line. Ryan Messer, he's just hammered down, looking out the windshield. Zane Farrell there in 2nd. Reagan Parent holding on to 3rd. And Brent Roy there in 4th, coming out of turn number 4 for the final time. Checkered flag for Ryan Messer. He's going to win the 4-wide weaponry race here at Charlotte. Holy cow, what a finish. Zane Farrell going to come home in 2nd. Reagan Parent 3rd. Brent Roy going to gain himself a point in the points battle. That's going to tighten it up to 4 between he and Daddio, who finishes in 5th. And how about Hopkins in 6th?
Yeah, Mike Hopkins able to bring it home in one piece this week. Great job by the number 78. Jason Ricker in 7th. Didn't say much about Jason, but he was running right there around 7th to 10th this entire show. And good job by the number 9 car. Brandon Newhouse bringing it home with a first points-paying top 10 at Charlotte. A solid week for him. Scott McDonald and Ryan Salvatore round out the top 10. Great runs for them as well.
Absolutely. They see Bobby Ship moving on up to P11. Rookie of the Year contender Colby Burkholder going to move back up into 12th. Cody LeBlanc, 13. Adam Henry, Brian Ship rounding out the top 15. Austin Belkey, Jeff Brown, Evan Boley are going to roll off, or finish off, rather, in the 18th spot. Corey Casagrande, or Kenny Kibbe there on the last lap, getting involved in that one. Corey Casagrande going to finish in 20th. How about this? Jared Adams, 21st. John Peters, 22nd. After that last lap incident, DJ Gerard, Jeffrey Bradway, Ryan Libby, and John Miller going to round out the 26 cars in this one. What a heck of a race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And let's see if we can catch up with some of these drivers and find out just what the strategy was getting into this one. And I believe, where are we? We're all over the racetrack here. It's always tough to try and catch up with these drivers after the race. They move around a lot. They're down on pit road, the virtual pit road. They're in the in their own voice chats as well. But we'll get it all sorted out here for sure momentarily. And let's see if we can catch up with our second place driver. That's going to be Zane Farrell. And Zane having a monster run here. Zane, what are you doing in the top three, man?
I don't know what I'm doing in the top three. The car was good. You know, we played the strategy right, and I got to stop. I told myself to stop, you know, beating the shit out of the tires. So, I mean, just, you know, rode around basically, just tried to see what everybody else does. And guys started backing up to me, and I feel like I had a lot of tire left, and I got some spots there at in the middle of the race. You know, we rode top 5 all night. It was a pretty good race.
Absolutely. Didn't see in the All-Star race last night. I'm sure you watched at home. Was there anything that you could kind of transfer into to this race?
Well, they were totally two totally different cars. Yeah. And last night was just kind of like, whatever, you know, no points and just a bunch of us getting together and having some fun. You know, this is all in good fun, and we all love throwing jabs at each other, but it's a fun league. Indeed it is, and lots of 14 fans out there in the stands here tonight. Who's out there watching? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack? I know my mom and dad watch every week, so I shout them out. They always like watching us and tuning in and watching us be belligerent. So I know my wife Lacey, you know, she watches, and whoever else. I don't know. I didn't know there was that many 14 fans. Yeah, they're making all sorts of noise over in the chat. But a great run here tonight, man. Congratulations, second place. Not too shabby for that 14 car. Thanks, Paul. Absolutely. And thank you, Aaron.
I'm going to slide a little bit further over to Aaron. He's caught up with our third place driver. You got to ask him how that 17 car was so quick.
Yeah, my goodness. And once again on the podium, Regan Parent, great run. And we've seen it time and time again. You've had to start kind of towards the back for whatever reason. And you had to start outside the top 20 again. And here you are in third.
Yeah, tonight's decision to start out back was on my own. I really enjoy starting out back in these races, and as everybody starts to save tires, just start passing cars and work my way to the front. I find that more fun than just starting up front and saving the whole time. So I like to challenge myself by that. But once we were able to get up there, it was just when we got the caution halfway, it's like, all right, I can reset now, kind of ride and save with everybody else. And then we went green for about 2 laps, and I threw that right out the window, and I'm like, let's go lead some laps here. So we melted the tires off that again.
Yeah, it seemed like everyone was doing that. And you were able to, I think you were one of them that was able to use that outside line to your advantage. And talk about that a little bit, how you're able to do that here at a track like Charlotte.
I was running the outside line most of the race, even at the early stages. Like I thought the car handled better up there. I felt that it didn't get as tight in 3 and 4. Like the wall off the floor comes up really fast at that track. So just running that outside lane, I felt like it was able to help the car turn a little bit more, and I was just more comfortable up there. So that kind of just fell into my advantage.
And once again, another podium finish that's going to be helpful in the points race. Who do you like to thank for bringing it home in third tonight?
Yeah, first and foremost, you guys again with VidaneTV. You guys put up amazing broadcasts. RKM setup shop on the car, Team Icon, the Ford Motors. I kind of partnered with them this year, not really on Icon, just associated, I guess. But them guys, just everybody that tunes in and watch, all the fans. I know Ryan, who won the race tonight. I know a lot of his family tunes in. My family tunes in and watches every race. My mom, my dad. So just everybody that tunes in and watches, you guys, whoever sponsored the race tonight, I didn't really pay attention to that, but just everybody involved here. It's a great group of guys to come and race with every week. So.
All right, that's third place, Regan Reggie Parent, bringing it home in the third spot. And Paul, last but not least, you're with the winner with his second victory of the NEP season.
Second victory and methodically, slowly working his way up the points. And Ryan Messer, always great to talk to you here. It almost seems like one way or another we're talking to you at least once or twice a week here at VidaneTV.
Yeah, we like to do lots of racing in the off season, so it's always good to be able to get to talk to you guys. Usually that means that there was a good finish. So yeah.
Putting on a heck of a show here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't think you dropped back past first or second. Definitely in the top 5 all night long. What was kind of the strategy getting into this one? We know we had that first caution coming off the track. When we saw that there was 43 laps to go up in the broadcast booth, we thought we were going to be doing a little bit of strategy racing. Did that cross any of your minds down in the pits?
It did for sure. I also knew that there was a good chance that there was going to be a yellow. So kind of just wanted to go hard a little bit at the start, try to get that bit of a gap, and then Regan kind of was doing the same thing. So me and him were able to break away. Running the bottom, I think just maybe saved my tires just a little bit more. It was feeling really good. I really didn't want that yellow with 15 to go or whatever it was. I wanted to try to run it out to the end. I knew John and Brent were probably saving big time, so they would have caught back up. But I think I had enough. I could have stayed out, but then we ended up getting that late yellow, and I knew that was going to change everything. So we went with the 2-tire strategy, and I thought I was going to get eaten up at the end, and it managed to stay really good. And I knew Zane was going to be right there. He ran great all race, so it was a close one.
For sure, and a couple of restart attempts up there. Still mastered the restarts all evening long, and that one car parked in victory lane once again. So a solid run for the one car. Got to give you an opportunity to thank anybody out there watching. Chat's blowing up. Got a lot of one fans out in the crowd here this evening. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Yeah, just gotta thank the family and friends that like to tune in and watch this. They support this just as much as they do with our real racing programs. So just shout out to them and you guys for putting the race on. I think it was the U-House Designs that sponsored the race, so thank him. Yeah, just it's great to be able to come on here and have some fun in the off season. Looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Ryan Messer coming home with win number 2 here this evening, and kicking off a heck of a show here, or coming off a heck of a show here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And that's going to wrap things up here for us for VidaneTV's coverage here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. A little 2-night action here, double of NEP night in America. We're going to be taking the rest of the week off, but we're right back at it Monday night with the RBR Maritime Season 7. They're going to be kicking things off here on VidaneTV Monday night. Tuesday night going to be the Wingnut Production Late Model Stocks. Wednesday, the Turn 4 Podcast Winter Series. And Thursday, we're right back here for some NEP action. For Aaron Creed and Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the production truck. We will see you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.